everyone, it's Johnny from Woodworking with 5 Tools. Today I'm going to show you how to build this beautiful LED lighting wood board, whatever it is. So there's a story behind this build, which I'm going to tell you now. If you want to skip this story, please do that through the timestamps. But Sarah and I, Sarah who's behind the camera, we were at the friend's house and we were chatting a little bit about our week. And I said to our friends like, okay, we made this wood beam LED lighting video, which you can see over here. And it was a great project. So even if you're a beginner, I mean, you can do this, it's super easy. And Sarah looked at me and she said, Johnny, it wasn't easy. And I told her, I mean, Sarah, I explained everything from the bottom and it's a super easy build. And she was like telling me, I wouldn't trust myself to do something like this. And yeah, this hit me really hard because I thought like I'm doing woodworking projects for beginners. And after a couple of days and some reflecting, I started to realize that maybe for the first build it was a little bit too much if you're a beginner. And I thought, okay, let's take one stage out of this build and make a project nearly as cool as the wood beam LED lighting. And instead of 5 tools, we only take 2 tools. So this is what we're doing today. I think we have a super cool project which looks great when everything comes out. And if you're a beginner, this is like super damn easy. So I think there are no excuses anymore to not do a project like this. First of all, we need to talk about the materials that we need today. So I'm starting with this wood board that we have here. You can take any wood board that you have laying around. So this is actually an offcut from a recent, I guess, table build or something like this. So it was free for me. I didn't pay any money. It has to be 3.5 centimeters thick. So this is important. The rest doesn't matter. The sizes doesn't matter. The second thing you need is the circle templates. We already used them once. Super easy. You can buy them online anywhere. LED supply, you need 2 screws, you need 2 sheets of MDF or whatever you have laying around just for the template, and you need these 3 LED lightnings, or if you want to make 2, you can only use 2. Okay, the tools that we need, pretty easy. A normal router. Using a router bit with a cutting edge. Is in the recent videos you saw me also using routers with a cutting edge. This is pretty important because we need to dive in to our board. So that for that reason we need this router bit with a cutting edge. I need a copy ring because of the templates that we make and the circle templates, and a drill. Normal drill, cordless screwdriver, whatever you have laying around, and we will get to this later, but super easy. 2 tools, I think everyone can do this. First stage of our build is make some drawings where we want to put our glasses and our LED supply. So normally this takes an hour for me. So first of all, I'm making only the half of this board with these glasses, because on the other half I want to put my key or something like this. So this is actually the reason for this whole build. That is a board where you can put a key or whatever you want to put there. Doesn't matter. So I'm putting these glasses, and because this is the front, I need to take a look how it looks nice. Please don't put them in a straight line. I mean, it doesn't have to be that boring. Normally this would take me hours because I would, anyway. But for this project I think we can keep it simple. Okay, should we leave it like this? I think we leave it like this, maybe a little bit like this. Anyway, we have to come to an end, so we leave it like this. And we need to measure our LED supply, because we need to make a hole with the router in the bottom or underneath the board, however you want to call it. So I'm measuring my LED supply, how much space I need for this, because we don't want to see this thing. So we are putting a hole with the router in. So this thing is around 10 centimeters, but there are the cables coming out, so I'm going like for around 13 centimeters, and it's 5 centimeters bright, but I want some space for the cables, so I'm doing something around 10 centimeters bright. So I made a small rectangle, which is exactly 10 to 13 centimeters, and I can put it anywhere here. So just put it, for example, here, draw these lines, and I do the same. It doesn't have to be that precise, because actually it can be anywhere. The same I'm doing with the glasses. Just take my pencil and draw around them. As I said, it doesn't have to be that precise, because actually you can put them anywhere you want. Perfect. So what I'm now doing, I'm finding the middle of these circles that I just draw from these glasses. And as I said, you don't have to be that precise, so I'm doing this like this. So something around here, something around here, and the last one was over here. So like this. Alrighty, I have these circles and I have the middle of the circles, and I have this rectangle where I need to put the LED supply, but this is the front, and I need to transfer this measurement, 2.5 centimeter and 8 centimeter from each side, to the back. So this is what I did, because of course I need to router the hole for the LED supply, and not in the front, but in the back in. For the circles, you just need the middle. So what we're doing now, we're drilling a hole right into these little crosses that we just draw. And we do this with a 6 millimeter drill bit, because the plug of our LED is 6 millimeters. At least you have to go 6 millimeters. You can also take like a 7 millimeter drill bit or 8 millimeter drill bit, but you have to make sure that you get through the wood with this plug of the LED. Top. As you can see, we're finished with drilling the holes for the LED. Now we're taking our LED and we take a small measurement on the LED itself. So the inside of the LED is 3 centimeters. So we have to router out a hole which is at least 3 centimeters. And the outside is 4. That means we shouldn't do a hole which is bigger than 4 centimeters. So something between 3 and 4 centimeters. So I found myself the circle template, and I have here a template which is 4 centimeters. This is for me great, because I have a router bit which is 2 centimeters in diameter and a copy ring which is 2.4. So I'm taking always 4 millimeters less away than the template. For the template is 4 centimeters. With this copy ring, I'm taking away 3.6 centimeters in diameter. So this is perfect. So I'm taking this 4 centimeter circle template, and I have some double-sided tape on the back, and I just glue it down right to the middle of this hole. And now I show you. Yeah? Easy? Understood? Perfect. So now I'm routing out this hole, and I'm going 1.5 centimeters in depth, because this LED that I have right here is something around 1.1 in depth, but I want to have some space for the cable, because just to be sure, and nobody will see us if we're going a little bit deeper. So I'm going for 1.5 centimeters. So what I'm doing, I'm putting my router to 0, as we did in the last project 2, to 0, and I'm going for 1.5 centimeters. And now you have right here 1.5 centimeters. Super easy. I have a 2 centimeter router bit, so it would be too much for this router bit to do it in one path. So I'm doing multiple paths. I'm doing 2 to 3, maybe 4 paths, and always going a little bit deeper. So I'm showing you now. So let's imagine this is the first path. I'm doing this, and then I'm going maybe 5 millimeters deeper. The next stage is another 5 millimeters deeper, and the last stage is then the full depth of 1.5 centimeters. Let's do this. Super easy, perfect. So we made the holes for LED lightnings. They're fitting perfectly. You will see later. But now we need to make the hole for our LED supply. So for that we have 3 different options. First of all, we need to measure our LED supply so we can know how deep we have to go. This LED supply is around 2 centimeters. So I'm going for 2.1 or 2.2. Something around this in depth, so we know that. And now we need to make a template that everything is square and everything is nice. So there are 3 different options out there. The first option is maybe the most professional one, is this Festool MFS 200 or 400, whatever you want to call it. You can adjust this thing in every direction. I mean, for a professional, this thing is just great. But it costs 200 to 300 euro, and I think not every one of you want to spend this much money on just a thing like this. I mean, it's pretty expensive. So the second option is make yourself some drawings on a small MDF board, 13 to 10 centimeters. Because I have a copy ring of 2.4 centimeters and a router of 2 centimeters, I'm always doing 4 millimeters more on each side. Then I go to the miter saw, and because I always have like square cuts, I can just cut this thing out like this. Super easy, super nice template. And then you can take some double-sided tape, put it down, super easy, done. So but for this you need a miter saw, and because this would be our 3rd tool, we're not doing it with a miter saw. We just take 2 normal MDF boards. Of course they gotta have a straight edge. Take some double-sided tape and glue it down, not directly to the line, but 2 millimeters in every direction outside of this line, because of course we have a copy ring which is 4 millimeters more than the router bit. So we want to router this box out, so I'm doing 2 millimeters more in every direction, so we have 4 millimeters in total. So I'm taking this, gluing this down here around 2 millimeters. As I said, we don't have to be that precise. Glue it down, take the other one, the good old double-sided tape. Glue it down. Alrighty, so now we have, as you can see, 2 fences. Like on this side we have 1 fence, on this side we have the other fence. What we now need to do, we have to find ourselves some fences for this side and this side. So you can take some small wood boards and just put them in here, but they have to be the same depth of your MDF board that you just used for these directions. So what you can also do, you just take your router, you measure, as you can come closer, Sarah, from the router bit to the end of these two sides, this side and this side. They are most of the time exactly the same on each router that is out there. So as I'm measuring, I see that it's something around 7.2 centimeters. The distance between the router bit and the side of the router. So what I'm doing, I already did this in this piece. I'm just measuring the line that I have here and do 7.2 centimeters in every direction. Make a little mark here, and now I know where I can put another 2 small boards of MDF and glue them down. So as I said, I'm not that precise, because in the end it's the underside of this board, and nobody will see if it's square or if it's like 1 millimeter too far or not. So just put it somewhere. It doesn't have to be that precise. So super easy. Now we have a router. We can put it in here, and as you can see, we're now routering out just these 10 to 13 centimeters that we wanted. This one got lost. Why? So as you can see, but you have to be careful, because don't use this side as a fence, because we took the measurement only from these round edges. So always be sure that when you're on this side or on this side, you're facing the round edge to these two fences. This is pretty important, because if you would do it like this, you would take too much material away. We want 2.2 centimeters because our LED supply is 2 centimeters. I'm going for 2.2. And again, we're doing this in multiple paths. So I would say 2 to 3 paths, maybe 4, because we are going 2 centimeters deep. But apart from that, it's super easy. Nothing can go wrong, because you have fences on every side. And yeah, I'll show you how easy this is. So safety first, some small advice. Because some of these routers, they don't have such a big teller. I don't know, you say it? Plate? Is it plate? Okay, they don't have such a big plate. So there is the possibility that it tips over a little bit, like you see here. Can you see this, Sarah?
Oh yeah.
And you should avoid this, because first of all, it's not good for the safety, because yeah, the router can take too much material away. And anyway, so please be careful that maybe you just, if it's not possible, then you really have to be careful that you don't tip over. But I made this hole just as big that if I'm turning the router a little bit, that it's safe again. So because both of the sides from the template, the router is on, the router plate is on, so I can go all around this template without tipping over, as you can see. And I'm still facing the round edges to the sides of my template. So this is, like, for safety reasons, pretty important. So, what had just happened? I nearly screwed up the whole build. No, I actually didn't. But normally I would cut out a scene like this because I don't want you to see me messing up the whole build. But I thought after seeing these pictures that maybe it's helpful for you to see what kind of mistakes or failures you could do in a build like this. And maybe because of me telling you, you can avoid these mistakes. So what had just happened? One of these fences from the template and one of these double-sided tapes came off. So it moved a little bit in this direction. The good thing for me is that I recognized it pretty early, and it was the first stage or the first like 5 millimeters in depth that I was taking away. When this happens in the third stage, when you're taking 2 centimeters away, this could be pretty dangerous, to be honest with you. So it happened in the first stage. So what I could do, I could just like put this fence half millimeter away, put it down, and make the hole just half millimeter bigger than I wanted it, but nobody will recognize because it's the bottom of the board and it's not like nobody will see it, and it doesn't have to be a specific size. But of course, when you're doing a router hole which is bigger and you have to do it in a specific size, then you would have messed up the whole build. So how could we avoid this? With this miter saw templates, it would, like to 99%, would have not happened because you have 4 double-sided tapes. With this one, you have only 1 double-sided tape on each side. So that these 4 double-sided tapes come off is like literally impossible. And it would also not happen with these MFS because you can put clamps in everywhere around. And here you can also see why I don't use clamps, and I always use these double-sided tapes, because of course with this MFS, which I'm normally using, you can hide these clamps and they will not get in the way of your router. But when you're clamping a template like this down, then you will always have the clamp, and when you're like going around with your router in this template, then you will come to the point that the clamp is coming your way, and this is why I'm always using this double-sided tape. So I can tell you everything about a router in this video, but I recognize in seeing these pictures that it's not that easy to make such a big hole, because you can tip over, you know, something like this can happen to you. So I've made a video up here where I explain a little bit more about how to use a router. Of course, it's not everything, and maybe you should search on the internet how to use a router. But for such a big hole, of course, it's not so easy as I thought for a beginner. So this is why I'm like giving you these little instructions, that maybe these mistakes this mistake that happened to me won't happen to you. You can avoid it and learn maybe something from this small advice. And now we will go on with the build, I guess. So we're finished with the hole for the LED power supply. Now we need to do a cable duct for all the LEDs. So because there's the hole where the LED cable comes out, and I drew some lines where I want this cable go, because here is the block for these LEDs. So what I'm doing, I have these lines, and because I have a 2.4 copy ring, and in here is a 5 millimeters in diameter router bit, because these cables are so small, you just need 5 millimeters. And in depth, I'm also going like 4 to 5 millimeters, that's totally enough. I just want to hide these cables. So I'm taking, behind this line, I'm making, as you can come closer, Sarah. I hope you can see this. Because I have 2.4 copy ring, I make two lines, one at 1.2 and one at 1.2. So in the end it's 2.4 together. Maybe I'm doing it from here at this one. So I'm measuring at 1.2. Super, and then I can take one line here and one line at 2.4. Do this again here, one line here, 2.4 here. Draw these lines. As I said, we don't have to be that precise, nobody will see, because it's the bottom of our, or the underside of our board. So, and now, because I have 2.4 diameter copy ring, I'm taking this MDF with double-sided tape again and glue it down where I have my line of this copy ring that I'm using. So I can take this out, and right here I glue this down. Super. So if you're good with the router and not completely new to woodworking, you can do it like this. But there's always a possibility that your router tips over. As I said, and for safety reasons, if you're new to this, you can take another MDF board, which is like the same depth, and just put it somewhere that the router doesn't tip over. So it doesn't have to be at the other line of 2.4 centimeters. You don't have to be that precise, because we only want this fence for our straight line. So I can also put this right here, which is way behind this 2.4 centimeters. But when I'm doing the line, I'm just not doing it like this. I'm just moving to this fence and routering out this line when I'm pulling the router a little bit to this fence. It's that easy. And because we have a router, maybe you don't have a router with a cutting edge, and I mean 5 millimeters router bit with a cutting edge, I don't know. So because we made this hole with the drill, it's super easy that we can actually dive in. And this is also our start of the line that we're routering out. So what I'm doing, I'm finding with my router bit this hole. So I'm going right there and search for this hole, and here I can't get into, and here I can get into, and this is the start where I'm routering out this line. So I'm doing 5 millimeters in depth, as you can see here, because these cables, they don't need much space. So I'm going for 5 millimeters, and this is the start, and the end is in this whole box. So you will get to know when the line is finished. Alrighty, let's go. So I'm showing you one time how to do it without the second fence. I mean, it's way faster, and you can also do it. I mean, it's not that difficult. Just finding the hole. There it is. Alright, pretty happy with the result. You can see like this ducts, it was cable ducts, huh? Cable ducts? Yeah. You can see this cable ducts. And I'm just doing some hand sanding because a sander would be the third tool. And I'm making the good old version with the hand, and yeah, I think it's working as good as you would do it with a machine. Just get rid of the lines, as you can see them here. So as you can see, they fit perfectly, these LEDs. Super nice. Now we turn it around. We have this cable ducts where we can put these cables. Just like this. I'm showing you. So you can hide them, and you can put some tape on so that they are mounted down. Today's video is sponsored by Woodworking with 5 Tools. What they do crazy cool YouTube projects, do it yourself, and they also offer all the materials for their builds in their online shop. So you can buy a normal, beautiful piece of oak, you can buy an LED supply, you can buy the LEDs, you can also buy the screws that you need in this build, and you can, last but not least, buy a fully routed out version where you don't have to stress yourself how to do. By the way, you see that I also thought about this small holes for the cables, because later on you will get to see why. Anyway, just head to our online shop and find all the information. We're shipping nearly everywhere, and hopefully you can build your own little oak board. And now I need to take care of the LED supply, power supply. So normally I would have done another cable duct for this white cable of the LED power supply, but I'm not sure yet on which side I want to put it, because I'm not really sure about the end position of this board, where I want to put it, on a shelf, on a table. So I'm not sure yet. Normally you would do that now, but I'm not sure, so I'm just putting the LED supply in like this. Make sure that my plug is up here where all the cables go. And now I take a small screw. You have to be careful, because the screw shouldn't be more than 1 centimeter long, because we have gone already in 2.2 centimeters, and this thing is 3.5 centimeters in depth. So we have around 1.3, 1.2 centimeters material left. So we want to be sure that, of course, we're not take too long screws that we're like screwing into our front of this board. So, 1. So, this is mounted down. Now we can take our cables, and yeah, to be honest with you, I didn't thought about all these cables. So like the space in this box that we have here is perfect, but I didn't thought about this. So maybe I have to shorten these a little bit and show you it afterwards. So for now I can only like do it like this, of course, and yeah, I can plug it in, but I'll show you how it looks when it's turned on, but it's not as perfect. I need to short these cables, of course, and then it's perfectly done. But for now, I'm turning it around and show you that it's still working like this. A little instruction for all of you. I ordered 3 different LED versions. It's hard to find an LED with this diameter because it's really small. You need to put your glass on. For that reason, it shouldn't be that big. But all of these 3 LEDs, I have access to all the shops in Germany. But there were 3 possible LEDs, and all of them got in some way warm, and one of them got hot. For that reason, I have chosen this LED, which is in my eyes a really good choice because it is good quality, but as I said, all of them are getting a little bit warm. For that reason, please only put glass on, don't put paper on or something like this. So you're building your own outboard. I can only send you what I think is the best choice. As I said, I ordered 3 different versions, and for me this is just the best choice. So
This is the best part of the whole video. Now you see why the cable duct is very important.
Of course. So you're just filming from this side, okay? Nobody was... We can make this... Ooh. And you don't have to take these glasses. You can also take beer bottles, whatever you have like laying around. Doesn't really matter. But I think this looks nice, isn't it? Turn down the light so you can see. So I think this is beautiful. So as I said, you can put your key here.
Come home, relax.
We're done. So I'm turning on the light again. Finished with this project. I think it turned out pretty well. I'm pretty happy with the result. Of course, the cables. We were hiding them here because there are too much cables there, and I still need to short them. But after that, I'm completely done with this build, and I think it turned out beautiful, and hope you liked it. Hope you learned something. As always, keep on woodworking, and we will see you next time. Bye bye.